Oh boy, we finally get to the episode starring Bill Mummy. That's right, the haunted phone one. Yeah, I know, we'll get to that one, but this was the kid actor's first appearance on the series, and luckily, it's just as good. We follow the Bales family, consisting of the father Chris, his wife Sylvia, and their young boy Billy. Billy's having his birthday party today, and it's so special that the kid's deathly frail grandmother pays him a visit just to offer him a very special gift. She gives Billy a toy phone, which she claims has a special connection that can only be shared between the two of them. The elder grandma has a strained relationship with her real son, as she holds some resentment over how he was the only child of hers to outlive her other dead offspring. So she seems to cling to Billy to give him all her love, as she's lost so many over the years. Tragically, Grandma dies, but promises Billy she'll always be with him.
Who am I to judge?
The family grieves over the loss of Grandma, but Billy spends most of his time on his toy phone, talking with somebody. As you can all probably guess, the boy claims he's speaking with Grandma. The phone is a magic lifeline, allowing the user to speak to Grandma's ghost, which Billy gets addicted to as he avoids confronting the cruel reality that she's gone, and the Grandma uses this to cling to her grandson once more. Right away, this is going to be an emotional horror story, as losing a loving family member is depressing, but a kid avoiding the bleak reality that they can't get them back is even grimmer. The family are very simple characters, but hold a relatable pain to us all. At first, they believe Billy's simply playing and fondly remembering Grandma, but he soon displays troubling unchildlike behavior, growing too attached to his toy. Like most children, they can never put down the dang phone. There's a lot of eerie moments, such as the mother discovering Grandma on the other line of the phone, making it clear that yes, there are ghosts haunting her son. We never actually hear the Grandma speak on the other end, only seeing the acting from other characters, which honestly makes this episode all the scarier. It's a more subtle horror story along the lines of Grandpa's glasses, yet the dark twist is the dead relative is the antagonist, since she refuses to let go of her grandkid. Sadly, there are huge glaring flaws. If it wasn't blatant, this episode was filmed with a new recording style as the show is trying to cut costs, and as a result, it makes the episode look rather awkward. I really hate these new filming shots, since it not only looks cheap, but sucked me out of the episode a few times because of the way it framed things. Even worse, we're still in for a handful of episodes with this experimental style. Thankfully, the episode does make up for it with one hell of a climax. Billy's parents demand he stop playing with the toy, but eventually Grandma's spirit actually encourages her grandson to commit suicide so they can be together again in heaven, where Billy tries drowning himself. Yeah, the Twilight Zone really went there. A child attempts suicide because he can't live without his loving grandma. Holy cow! However, Billy's still alive, but barely. He can live, but the medics can't snap him out of a coma. This forces the father to at last confront his distant mother, pleading for her to release his boy's soul, since he deserves to live a life even without her. Philip Abbott's acting is so intense here, as he gives the performance of his life to show us how desperate his character is to get his kid back. It's some of the deepest stuff of the series.
If you really love Billy, give him back. He's only 5. He hasn't even started. He's hardly been out of this room, out of this house. There's a whole world he hasn't even touched.
Upon hearing her real son's prayers, she releases Billy's soul, allowing the boy to live, at last making peace with her real living son and moving on to the afterlife. The episode ends with Billy surviving, with the family cherishing the new lease on life. All in all, this episode is a pretty touching, emotional horror story. Not too different from The Haunting Hour's Flight or The Ghost Next Door. There's a rather profound take on suicide, depression, grief, and when it's right to let go, as both Billy and his grandma need to allow life to go on. A very deep episode, and one that's far more relatable than it has any right to be. I can totally see this tale being a fan's top 10 best tales ever. However, the only thing costing it a flawless victory from me is that dang camera style. It just makes the episode look so cheap and causes some moments to feel cheesy. I'm sorry, but it does. Some scenes feel too funny to take in as serious drama, robbing the show of that timeless Twilight Zone magic. Nevertheless, it's still full of touching moments, uneasy scares, and deep concepts. So, I can grant this number a gold skull. It's the Twilight Zone at its most dramatic, worthy of being a hard-hitting tale you should see if you consider yourself a fan of this show. If you enjoy beautiful tragedy, then this is an episode calling up your number.
She wanted to know if I can come stay with her. Can I, Mama? Can I?
The Twilight Zone.